Just made it.
Hello, everybody. Look at all the people already online. Isn't that crazy?
Amazeballs.
You guys are like just amazing. Hi to Rick. William. Rick was the first one online. I'm going to give him that.
Welcome.
William. Tim. Hi there. I'm ready for it. What did he say?
Didn't we have some people online like
I know.
earlier today?
Yeah, Tim says I'm ready for a 1.21 gigawatt necessary to cruise with my buddies.
Gigawatts.
Doug, let's go to electric. Oh, it's going to be fun. Steve, I missed the part about why the new diesels were removed. Lane's going to tell you all about
somebody
that.
Answered that too already.
Oh, did someone answer?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Tim, for answering. Yes, the comments were great. But we just have the opportunity to go hybrid electric, and it's always been Blaine Stream.
Yep, and those diesels just were not ideal for that conversion.
Yeah, they're installing super electric hybrid drive system. Yeah. Cummins weren't right. Williams here. Tim. I love that you guys are responding back and forth to each other, by the way. Aloha from the Big Island. Hey there. Bill? I'm going to go with Bill. It's almost 3 p.m. here. Yeah, mid-afternoon tea time.
Brutal.
Only because I'm retired. I'm online all day, Rick.
RV Sparky's been checking in all day, too.
Hello,
just in
RV
case
Sparky.
Snuck in early.
Okay, so, yes, we are live. Hi, Bill. We invited Brent. He's not able to make it.
No.
But any questions that we can't answer or that Blaine can't answer, because I can't answer, we will send them to Brent, and he's going to record them, and I will put them up on our YouTube community post on our YouTube channel.
I feel bad for Brent because last time when he was online, he left that night to fly to Australia to commission a boat. And unfortunately, they weren't ready for him, and he didn't find that out until after he had arrived to commission the boat. So he stayed for the night and flew out the next day from Australia back to Mexico. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever flown over there. That is a long-ass trip in an airplane. So yeah, I feel a bit bad for him. That's a lot of travel time for no benefit.
Yeah, so for those of you who are new, Brent Perry is our business partner in this adventure. He owns Osea Boats. We're just launching Osea Boats. We are being part of the company, being kind of the research and development, which is just so exciting. Hi, Phil's project. Hi, old CB. Everything popping on.
Yeah.
But that's exciting. But he has a hybrid electric sailboat. Palmer Johnson? Sorry.
Not a Palmer Johnson. It's a Sparkman Stevens design, and it's a Sunward 48.
Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking Sparkman Stevens because Blaine and I met on a Sparkman Stevens design. And
built by Palmer Johnson.
Yes, and Brent's boat, Karma, looks very similar to the boat that we met on.
Very nice boat.
Yes. Ororu is here. Ororu. In Australia, we call it just down the track a bit.
Yeah.
Fabrizio's here. Hey, guys. Okay. As for naming the project, I put that out today on Facebook and YouTube, and I've got a little update. We haven't named it yet, but so far, Operation Silent Runnings is in the lead, and that was suggested by James Epstein. But Electric Adventure is in second.
Yeah.
But we're going to let that keep running a little bit, okay? So are y'all going to have solar and a generator? Okay. We're going to give you a little bit of update, and then we're going to hit these questions.
Yes.
So I know I like the Operation Megawatt too. It is cold. Blaine, give an update of what's happened this week.
Okay, this week, you guys have probably seen some of the videos. Generator is all ripped apart, ready to come out. Isolation transformers have been pulled off the wall. They're ready to come out. I've started to strip back all the wiring for the main panel because it's getting redone. I've got the starboard side muffler disconnected, ready to get strapped up and reefed out the top. I've got both engines disconnected from the shafts, from the raw water. I've got the raw water pumps off of them to shrink the footprint down a little bit to help them get out of the hatch. What else? We got all the exhaust pulled apart, so they're disconnected from the exhaust side. We've taken a bunch of stuff off the boat, put into the container for making room to work. A lot of our tools are out there now, and we'll be able to organize all that before it comes back on board again. I'm sure I'm missing stuff, but that's the main brunt of what we've done this week.
The engine room is looking pretty
sparse.
We are not going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
Looking at it, it's kind of sad actually. Stella and Portia are sitting there kind of naked, not attached to anything.
Yep.
But we have something booked for Tuesday.
We got the crane booked coming out to reach stuff out the top.
Yeah.
So we got Rocky coming back out again. He was awesome last time, so he's doing it again this time.
It's going to be awesome. Look, old CB. So I'm jumping ahead because I'm looking at the comments too. I started pulling the engine from my 28-foot boat today for the 6th or 7th time. I thought of you guys. Thought of my last install was the last install. I'm really hoping this.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? This is not going to be the last install.
It is unlikely to be.
Because the agreement we have with OSEA, and we're being very transparent with you guys, okay? If you have any questions about what's happening, just let us know. We want to be fully above board here. But the agreement we have with them is that any new tech coming in is going to be tested in Tongaroa first, and with Blaine testing it out, which is quite exciting because over the next, who knows, 10 years, you're going to see new tech coming in and out of Tongaroa all the time.
I'm wondering if maybe we should make this hatch non-permanently floored down.
I think it should be temporary. The hatch, instead of putting flooring over top, I definitely think it should be temporary. So it's going to be really exciting having the new tech coming in and out all the time. And again, that just reminds us of Clive Cussler's The Oregon.
Yeah.
That boat. I just love those names. Okay, are you guys ready for some questions? I know we missed some questions last week. We are going to do this live just for an hour because I find they get really exhausting.
Well,
I love talking to you. We love talking to you.
A lot of thinking.
It is, and we've been working all day. So let's go right up to the topic.
And actually, I'm going to touch on that, working all day.
Touch on that. I like that. Touch on that.
I'm going to apologize to you guys. I'm not as active in the comments on the videos, our YouTube videos right now, because I'm just so busy. I'm waking up in the morning, I'm getting started right away, and when I start commenting in the channel, it takes a lot of time. I'm just letting these guys know why I'm not there.
I'm just bugging you.
I'm not looking for sympathy here. But yeah, if you guys are asking questions, I'm trying to get to them. But yeah, I'm really busy on the boat, and I'm probably not going to be as busy in the comment section. So if you got questions, save them for the lives here, and I'll try to get to them as best I can.
And yeah, that's exactly why we have the lives, is to answer your questions real time. And I would love some feedback about what you think about 3 videos a week, if we're keeping it up to date, and if you like being in real time, because it's kind of cool to have, what do you say, the feedback, because there's some did you read the feedback about whether you should move the fuel intake or not?
I did get feedback on that. I probably am going to move the fuel manifold, because I think that's where all the wall of power and the battery bank is all going to kind of be tied into that aft wall, central and visible. So yeah, I think we're going to have to. But
there's lots of great comments about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back up for questions. Are you ready, Blaine?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we're going. Let's get electric. Sorry, you guys answered each other. What an awesome community. You guys are amazing. While I'm going through this, if you want to hit the likes, that actually really helps us, that you like the video. We really appreciate that. Hello from the Big Island. Okay, we got that. Checking all day. I know RV Sparky's down in Warm, Arizona. And we're wearing toques inside.
Right now we have the diesel heat shut off in the boat. So we just have these little like infrared box heaters, and they're not super duper efficient.
Nope.
Or not super duper effective, I should say. So it's a little cool in the
old CV's coming in from Eastern Washington. Okay, here it's ready. First question from Bill. So, are y'all going to have solar and a generator?
Yes to both. We're actually going to have 4 generators. They're currently we're looking at 4 50 kilowatt generators. Still up in the air whether they're going to be AC or DC. We've been in talks with multiple generator suppliers regarding the project, and we haven't settled on any of them yet. That's actually probably one of the biggest stressful things on this build right now, because that's the one thing that has the largest potential to put us behind schedule.
What's the issue with the AC? Because you were calculating stuff out.
The AC is a good option, but unfortunately for starters, it's not going to be as efficient as the DC generator will be. Some of the new DC generators can get super high efficiency on those, which I really like that idea. Also, the AC generators are massive. The generator heads are almost as big as the motors, probably weigh as much. So a DC generator, we're probably looking at about 1,500 pounds per generator. An AC generator, we're looking at like 2,500 pounds per generator. So we will be back to where we were with the Detroits, plus whatever the batteries weigh.
What did you calculate of the batteries? He said it was 8.
I think it's like 2,500 pounds for the batteries is what they're going to weigh. So, I mean, we're not drastically over what the old Detroits were, and quite frankly, the additional ballast won't hurt, but it will add considerable weight to the boat to do AC generators.
I am so glad that we raised the water line the first time we painted her, and we actually have about a good foot of extra black bottom paint above the water. This one's for you, Blaine.
Forward thinking.
Oops. Tim, how come you don't have your family puppy there?
She's right there.
Go get her. Maggie.
Maggie. Come here.
Come here. Hold on. Maggie is here. She's just sleeping.
Come here.
She's coming up. Here she is. See? Maggie's here. Maggie doesn't go anywhere. Look, Megs. There you go. We do have our family pups here. Maggie's here. We do watch her in the boatyard. There's other dogs here, but we also watch her paws because there's a lot of contaminants and stuff on the pavement.
Yeah.
But no, she loves being on the boat, and she loves standing on the aft deck and barking at people who come past in the boatyard. It's quite funny.
And as you can see, she's very snuggly.
Yeah, she's got life rough. Okay. Again, we talked with old CB. He was just pulling his engine. We feel for you. Definitely feel for you on that one. Motoring. I don't understand that one. Okay. Oh, look, all the way from Sweden.
Wow.
Hi, that's awesome. Zedor. Zedor? X-Zedor? Hey, Bill says it looks a little bit cold there, unlike it is 78% here on the Big Island. Okay, don't make us jealous.
It's the engine room right now is cold.
Tim,
like really cold.
Are you going to be using the lithium-ion rubber bands?
Yes.
What's that?
Lots of lithium-ion rubber bands.
What are those?
Batteries.
Oh, got it.
Yes. They're lithium iron phosphate, so they are the not the NMCs or anything like that. So they're a bit better for safety. Nothing is safe 100%, but it's about as good as you're going to get.
You can put her down anytime if you want.
I don't know. She looks like she's a little comfy.
Okay, Fabrizio. Blaine, have you thought of having the batteries in an aluminium enclosure that you could flood? I mean, if flames are shooting out, at which point battery is toast, pardon the pun.
I haven't really. The ones that we're looking at, they're already enclosed. It's not one giant enclosure with all the batteries in it. It's modules. So they've got, they've got multiple, and I don't know how big each module is. This is actually one of the places that we're going to be stopping when we go overseas to audit suppliers, but it's built in a modular basis. So they just stack them to get whatever voltage you want. So they're already in steel enclosures, and they're already safety vented where you can actually connect steel tubing and vent them outside the boat. So if you do have a cell rupture and it starts shooting out gases, it goes overboard. They also have as best of fire suppression as you can get inside the battery pack. And if I'm not mistaken, they are water cooled as well, which really helps with thermal runaway as well. So like I said, these are not a standard battery. These are commercial batteries for commercial shipping, and they are DNV approved. So they have been type approved for use in commercial. DNV. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but yes, they are a type approved battery. So they've been tested, and like I said, they're about as good as you're going to get for this application.
Steve wants to know what our cruising speed would be with the new power plant.
So with the boat, literally nothing's going to change. We're not making any compromises on anything. We will still have full 13, 14 knot hull speed that we'll be able to reach. Cruising speed will remain at 9 knots, and we will still have full range with our diesel. We're not going to be dependent on batteries for range. So if we need to go really, really far, the generators can run until we run out of fuel. So like I said, we're not sacrificing anything. We have everything plus.
How long will we be able to run on quiet?
It really depends. Being the resistance curve on a semi-displacement boat is kind of shaped like this. As long as we're down in these areas, we can go really far. I think at our cruising speed of 9 knots, we've got 5 hours worth, which I can't remember exactly what that was for mileage. I think at like 2 or 3 knots, we can go like 300 miles on a charge. So a lot of range to be had there. Mind you, that's going pretty slow. But I mean, theoretically, if we were to go that slow, that far, and then just run the battery to charge, generator charge the batteries back up, our fuel consumption by mileage would be gigantic.
Am I right in saying we're basically putting a commercial system into a recreational boat? Commercial hybrid electric system.
Pretty much.
So those ships are already out there running. The BC ferries are running on it.
Oh, BC ferries, icebreakers.
We're just working with OSEA to make the system smaller and more available to the public out there who have boats like ours or smaller.
And it's not just like all the boats that we'd be doing at OSEA would not be using this battery bank. We are using this because we have pretty high energy demands when we need a lot of power. But other boats, sailboats, smaller sailboats, like Brent's, he gets away with a 48 volt system, which is much less complex, much smaller.
You know what's a lot of power is we do run 2 YouTube channels on this boat, which means we have 2 big computer systems. Izzy's a gamer also. I've got a fairly big computer system. We have a RAID array for storage on this boat, and then we've got the amount of cameras we plug in every night.
2 refrigerators, a freezer, a box freezer. Yeah, we have lots of draws, full oven, full stove.
Patrick says, get used to living in the port construction. Yes, and the key about that is we pick our ports on the amount of hot water their showers have and the pressure.
Yes. and Steven's pretty good for...
Stephen has an amazing
lots
shower.
Of and lots of hot water.
Yes.
We like that here.
How big is your battery bank going to be?
I believe last time I spoke to Brent about this, we're looking at 300 kilowatt hours, which is roughly, well, that's over 300 kilowatt hours, 300,000 watt hours. And that's roughly like 12 times the size of what we have now.
Yes.
13 times?
3 Teslas worth.
There we go. 3 Teslas worth.
3 Teslas worth of batteries are going in Tongaroa. Fabrizio's like 2 videos, don't burn yourself out. I'm not burning myself out, Fabrizio. 3 videos is good right now, and we have a lot of footage. And by keeping it small, actually pushing out the footage, we really get the feedback from you guys, which we really enjoy. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are enjoying.
I just have the constant every day. Izzy will come down. She's like, Dad, do you have anything video worthy that you're doing right now? I think that happened like 4 times today, and I'm like, no, not right now.
Izzy is our camera person.
Yeah.
It's quite cute. Keep it real time. Yes, Doug, that's our goal, is to try and keep this real time and to try and keep it open to you. And you're going to be there when we make decisions. So right now, you know what we're deciding. This is totally changeable on what the build is going to be.
Yeah, okay? It's pretty flexible right now. I think we've got probably the batteries and the drive motors locked down. Generators are the big thing right now. That's what we have in flux currently.
Yeah. Ron says, hi from Alabama.
Alabama.
I was once he says Alabama. I've been watching all your videos and really enjoy what you're doing. I served in the Navy as an engineer. Thank you so much for your service, Ron. We really appreciate it. And love what you have done and are doing in the engine room.
Well, thank you.
It's going to be a very white engine room.
We're looking forward to it. It's going to be clean and pretty.
Hi, Brian.
And
Brian's here.
Hey, Brian.
Brian's a really good friend. We really appreciate him.
I was talking about the new panels that we're going to be doing. Brian's helping with those.
He is an engineer on the BC ferries, and he is like one smart sucker.
He deals with panel design and dim rail stuff on a daily basis.
Yeah. Doug is calling in 20 degrees in Georgia. I spent quite a bit of time in Savannah. Actually, you were in Savannah also.
That's pretty chilly, because I'm assuming if he's in Georgia, he's talking about Fahrenheit.
That is quite chilly.
That's cold.
Huh.
I think Tennessee was pretty cool too, as well, from what my parents.
It's frozen.
Yeah.
Yes, but both Blaine and I spent time at Intermarine Boatyard in Georgia. No, I was at Intermarine. You were at
Palmer Johnson.
You were at Palmer Johnson. Zedor has a question straight from Sweden. Remember Sweden?
Yep.
What type of electric engine should you use? Not the brand, but what type of engine are we going to use?
I'm
300.
I'm not sure.
Or 100 kilowatt.
There'll be 100 kilowatt drive motors. They will be water cooled, and they're going to be basically matched to torque on the motors. We could probably get away with smaller for kilowatt, but by the time you size them for torque, you're up in the 100 kilowatt range for most of the motors these days. Brand, we're not sure. I think we're going to be going with a Rawsons. That's RAWSUNS. They are a company in China, which we're going to go visit as well while we're over there auditing the battery suppliers.
And you guys will have video right along there looking at what the factory is like over there and what they are putting out. It's actually quite amazing.
Yeah. I know that there's a lot of there can be poor quality stuff out of China, but there's also some pretty good companies over there. So that's what we're going to do, is go over there and make sure that they're good companies and that they're going to work with us and for us.
Fabrizio, I love you, Fabrizio. Pound, smash, poke, prod, press, punch, slap, chop, bump, tap, flick, kick, click, lick, rub. The rub, lick, click.
I'm not sure what like button you're talking about.
Fabrizio, you went a little bit far there. The like button and subscribe. Yes, if you can, that really helps us and really helps YouTube. And the best thing you could do is watch our videos. And if you know of anybody that's going to like them, share them. Yeah. Dr. Brown told me DC was the way to go.
For us, it is. Which, I mean, it's kind of funny. We say DC. They're still AC generators. They're just being converted to DC directly at the controller rather than having a separate battery charger afterwards. The controllers these days are pretty efficient, and being they're all water cooled, everything is super small. They can pack it all into tight little packages with permanent magnets and things like that these days.
Wow. Look, I'm just going to go in here. We've got Martin, who's a new member on YouTube. Thank you very much. You can also join our online crew through our website, onboardtongroa.com. And then there's lots of perks by joining through there, or on Patreon, which is Onboard Tongroa 1969. So thank you very much. We've got Turk Vet, who's a new member.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. RV Sparky, thank you so much. $50 contribution to Operation Possibly Silent Runnings. We're not quite sure yet. Good evening. Removing your current lithium battery bank. So are you going to rely 100% on a DC to DC converter from the high voltage bank to support the basic house systems, 12 to 24 volt, or will you have some kind of a backup supply battery bank?
We will have backup supply battery banks. They're probably not going to be lithium. They'll probably be lead acid for that stuff, because it's going to be sitting at full charge all the time. It's just going to be there for, like you said, backup. And instantaneous loads where a DC may not be able to keep up with it. So yeah, we will have battery banks there, and quite honestly, there might be redundancy in the DC chargers as well.
You're all about redundancy.
So if one fails, it doesn't put us out.
I hope we answered your question. And again, thank you so much for the donation to the Silent Runnings Fund. At least that's the going name right now. We will announce later on this week what this name is going to be. Kiwi, Mad Kiwi, Craig, you know your first name. Buy yourselves a strong coffee. The Mad Kiwi made a live set being taken apart. I know, isn't it crazy? I'm kind of sad watching all the Cummins being taken apart too.
Yeah, it hurts a bit, for sure.
But so exciting at the same time. So
I'll get more excited when containers and things start showing up. But right now, we've got nothing here currently. And I've got stuff coming out. But I mean, we've got a lot of time to spend cleaning things up and getting the engine room prepped for what's going in. And I also have to tackle hydraulic steering, running other wiring for other things, building the new panels. We got doors and windows happening. So it's not going to be a lack of things to do while we're waiting on other stuff to come in.
No, we should say hi to Lady Luna while they're here.
Hey, guys.
He's got to run off at 5:30 for hockey game. So thank you very much for coming to the live before you head off for hockey. And Maggie, dreaming of bears, I know.
she's switched sides. She's on her bed.
Can there be a possibility of seeing what's in the container? I mean, if it's secure, if security's not an issue. Like when the container arrives?
I'm assuming that's probably what he's talking about. I mean, we have the container that we have now is just all the stuff that's coming off the boat being stored. But yes, when we have the container with
But
stuff
explain
in it,
what's going to happen with the container, because this build is going to be a little bit different than what OSEA foresees in the future of happening.
yeah. So being we're kind of getting a late start with this, and we're in Vancouver,
And we're the
where
first boat
company
they're
is,
doing like this.
and we're the first boat that they're doing like this. While we had originally planned on just having a container show up in Wrangell, Alaska, being we're here, it's not going to quite work out that way. We will have a container here, it will have a bunch of stuff in it, but it's not going to be like a big Christmas grand opening where we open it up and everything's in there.
Which in the future, if someone chooses to do that, that is what's going to happen. Is you're working with OSEA, and the container, like Christmas, will just show up.
Yeah.
Right. But because we're here in the yard, things are just going to come in piecemeal. And trust me, with 3 videos a week and live, you are going to see everything.
Yeah.
So you're going to see the box openings. We're just going to have a whole bunch of them.
Oh yeah.
Gary, hello, my brother from another mother. Have you done all the calculations for the size of panels, batteries, and inverter to run the boat appliances in everyday use when not under power to keep everything running without interruption?
Yep. The battery is just its size for propulsion. However, when Brent was sizing the battery bank, he did take into account all of our households. I had to go through every single thing that we had here, give him amperages of everything, give him duty cycles of how often it was running. And that was factored into basically how much time we would have driving the boat from point A to point B with house loads running. But when we're sitting at anchor, I mean, it's the batteries are hardly going to feel it. I mean, we're talking like 15 days if we're using the same power that we have now. Panel sizing, that one's just as much panel as we can cram on board. We're reaching out to a couple of solar companies right now. And yeah, we're gonna get as much on as we can. If I could get 10 kilowatts, I would be ecstatic.
Fabrizio is worried about us. He says, please consider an enclosure. He's worried about fire.
Yep. Well, technically,
So
every one of the batteries is enclosed. It's in a sealed steel box. Like I said, with a vent for overboard. So if there was a perforation on a cell or it should start to vent, all that goes overboard. Like I said, it's about as good as you're going to get in any sort of battery configuration. And unfortunately, like an enclosure for the entire bank won't quite work for us because the batteries, I think, are going to probably end up being in multiple areas in the engine room, because I don't think we're going to have room for them all in one spot. They're going to have to get spread out a little bit.
Tim says, I fill up a year for diesel. Nice. I fill up a year. That's kind of...
I think we're kind of already a bit like that.
Yeah, we take 3,000 gallons.
Yep.
And if Brent is right, and this battery system only takes 1.5 gallons per... What am I...
I'm not holding my breath on the 1.5 gallons.
Let's go 2.
I'm going to... No, I'm thinking more conservatively. I'm thinking, let's say we do 3 gallons an hour. We're doing 4.5 right now.
So 3 gallons at
That's
9
still
knots. You do the calculations.
Yep. A lot.
Yes, we can go far.
Right? It was like theoretical range of 5,000 nautical miles with the diesels that we had. So anything's just going to be better than that.
Tim wants to know how long it's going to take to charge the batteries at the point that you do charge them fully.
It will be the same as any lithium. So I think typically, what is it, like 0.25 C, which is 4 hours of runtime from dead empty. It doesn't matter if the batteries are 300 kilowatt or 50 kilowatt. We'll still be able to charge them with the amount of generator that we have in 4 hours from dead empty to full. And considering we're probably never going to run them down less than 40%, a couple of hours to bring them up, because we never charge them to full 100 anyway.
Now, Menace is in trouble because he was late. But he apologized, so that's okay.
Okay.
What voltage is the new system? I'm assuming 48 volt with roughly 200 kilowatt of storage or more. Bigger.
Well, yeah, bigger on all.
Bigger.
It's actually going to be a 400 to 800 volt system, somewhere in that range, and 300 kilowatt hours. So a lot of energy there and a lot of voltage. The voltage is kind of required on the big power motors. Once you start getting into the 100 kilowatt motors, so probably less than that. You really got to have high voltage to make them work properly.
Now, Tim says, will you get used to not heading to fuel docks first when stopping for food or fuel? We actually don't go to fuel docks very much already, because we're only running 4.5 gallons an hour.
Yeah, and we typically do like 4 to 5 hour days when we're traveling, kind of thing.
So we usually need food more than we need fuel, which is great. And we did get a lot of fuel on board right now, so I think we're at 3/4 full.
Probably
we've got about 2,000 gallons on board right now, because Ketchikan was the cheapest place on this whole coast to get fuel. So when we came down, we put on fuel in Ketchikan.
Yeah, they move a lot of fuel in Ketchikan, so it's the cheapest.
So,
what do we got?
DNV is Det Norska Veritas. It's a classification society of Norway that sets standards for marine safety internationally.
Yep,
that's awesome.
So these are DNV certified batteries.
Yep. Adrift in Heathers is here. Adrift in the Ether, sorry. Tim says Starlink.
Yep. You have used much.
Yep. 3 Tesla batteries. Thank you to everybody who has donated to our fund. We really appreciate it. And then RV Sparky and Fabrizio are having a back and forth conversation, which is very cool. RV Sparky says he's 90% experiences on RVs, but have done some marine electrical, EV electrical, and everything from small electronics to industrial 3-phase. Yeah. So with that knowledge, any feedback you have for us, we really appreciate it while we're doing this.
And Brian's on this side of the
Brian.
So Brian, our friend here, that's when I was saying that's helping us with panels. He's actually working right up the road from us right now. They're doing refit on some of their boats, the BC Ferry ship, so he's in town currently. We will be having beers, I am certain.
Yes. Helen's down in Australia. Yes, it is hot down there, 44 degrees Celsius. Holy cow. You want to trade just half and half of your temperature up for here?
That'd be great.
We really appreciate it. Okay. Once you get totally adapted to the ocean, would you consider getting a dolphin for a pet, Flipper?
I mean, if they're amenable, sure.
I do want to say that Izzy and I went to a bunny cafe on the weekend because Blaine was shutting all the power, and I was really considering bringing a rabbit on board.
Don't need a rabbit. We have a magnet.
Okay, hold on.
Just up there, I think they mean permanent magnet. The motors will be permanent magnet for sure. Yeah. Generators might possibly be permanent magnet as well. We're still toying around with that.
Tim says the best batteries are made in Taiwan and Japan. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's they're everywhere. The ones we're looking at currently are in China.
Yep. Lester says it's 45 degrees Celsius in Melbourne. Crazy. Brian, is that a laser you can hear in the background? No, it is probably. Oh, let's give an update about that. First, what you're hearing is probably the RAID array or this gaming laptop that we have. Its fan is really loud. But let's talk about lasering the walls.
Yes. We did look into that. You guys saw the video, and it did a really good job. But the quote was large.
$4,000 large.
We can better put that money elsewhere. And quite frankly, the walls of the engine room have lasted for this long, which is 50 years, without any special anything done to them, with worse insulation put on them. So I think we're just going to clean them up the best we can. We're not going to knock off all the oxidation, but we're just going to prep them for some more glue, and we're going to glue some not absorbent insulation on the walls. And like I said, it's lasted this long. It's going to last us for a lot longer again.
Yeah. So we're going to keep the bare aluminum. We're going to glue on closed-celled
cross-linked polyethylene
foam on it, which we just have to figure out a source. So if anybody knows the source of the foam rolls, if not, I think I'm going to a Chinese company on Alibaba.
Yeah. And we're not doing spray foam because the walls are not prepped well enough for spray foam. It would be an issue with it actually sticking.
No. B, what is the danger of spray foam on an aluminum boat?
I have to do welding occasionally, and unfortunately, there's a lot of pitting that I want to eventually get to and weld on the side of the boat. And if I've got spray foam in there and I'm welding on the outside of the boat, that's going to be an issue.
Is that fire?
That is fire, and it is a pain in the ass to clean out to get it prepped for welding. So not even going
No
to go
spray foam here.
No.
Not happening. We are not spray foaming our boat.
No.
No. So we will use the foam. It will be glued right up against to help with moisture, and then we'll do another, probably the pink thick closed foam.
Yeah, I think if we do the closed cell foam first and have it kind of glued in, and we get the rigid foam and we can kind of sandwich it in between the other foam, I think that's going to give enough insulation for what we need. I mean, it is the engine room. Really, the only reason why we're insulating it down there is to keep the batteries warm when we go to cold climates.
No, because you're whining how cold it is right now.
It's not going to help me right now.
And then we'll probably put a Arctic white Formica walling on top. Walling?
Yeah.
Wall
Yeah,
covering.
it'll be backed
Yeah.
with like a thinner ply. But yeah.
Fatty bread, axial flux reluctance UIC.
Axial fluxes are wild motors. I mean, they've got some pretty crazy stuff.
Etc. He says.
Yeah, they're I just find that they're not making them really big yet. They get a lot of kilowatts out of them, but the torque is still not as high as what we would need.
Colleen says the same thing when you're going with axial motors.
No, they will be a standard. What do they call them? Hairpin wound motors. So yeah, nothing special for that. The axials are nice because you can stack them, but A, they're still pretty expensive, and B, like I said, they're typically not developing the torque we need in a single motor currently.
RV Sparky, can you throw up your YouTube channel so we all know it? We'd really appreciate that, your YouTube channel address, because then we will share it with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you guys will pick what's best stuff is available to you, AC or DC.
Yep, it's the AC stuff will be. I mean, it'll be proven.
Is the technology there for DC? I thought that was the issue. They're not totally.
I think the
there
technology is there for DC. There's just nobody making complete packages in the sizes that we need. There's companies like Polar Power. I can't remember. There's a couple of other companies, but I think Polar Power, the biggest they make is like 27 kilowatt, and the voltages are not the same as what we're after.
Yeah.
So it's finding somebody who makes it, and we are talking with a company that will do them, but when you're dealing with a bespoke generator that's not in production, the costs are astronomical. So I mean, we'd be looking at probably 50 to 100% more expense going with a DC generator custom made.
This isn't a one-time. Also, we are looking for generators that OSEA can do. Put the same generators in multiple projects, right?
Yeah.
It's just not us.
Yeah, and the problem is right now there's nobody that's willing to jump into that market and adopt the technology yet, which is what we're trying to kind of push with some of the bigger suppliers, the more known guys, like your Cummins and your Kohlers.
I would love to put Cummins back in again.
I would love to put Cummins back in again as well. But I think if we do, it will be AC gen sets. It won't be DC gen sets.
Joe says, so you don't like revolting as a name? No.
Well, I mean, I don't mind it.
No.
Revolting.
Krista says, hi, Sissy and Parker.
Yeah.
So that's our sister. Hey, Chris.
Hello.
Have you heard of sodium-ion batteries, Blaine? I think we talked about this in the last live, sodium-ion
We did,
batteries.
yeah. The sodium ions are good. However, their energy density is poor compared to lithium chemistries. So we would need a much larger pack, much heavier pack to do the same thing that we can do with the lithium iron phosphate batteries. It's the main reason.
Patrick says redundancy is important. DC to DC goes out, cannot power the dashboard to control the motors, kind of stuck.
Yeah. Fortunately, we will have alternators on the generators as well. So that can also be added in as redundancy too. Any of the 4 generators that could be run, and they will each be on their own individual battery. They could be fed into a combiner to feed whatever. So as long as all of our main control stuff is 12 volt, we'd be good even in that failure.
I'm trying to understand Craig's comment here. New hybrid ship, so being behind the sushi run Congar will be a planing hull.
Yeah, he means it. We'll need to go faster to get back on track.
I told you got 5 months.
Yeah.
So, and then we got to be back up in Wrangell. James, how long do you believe it will take you to adjust to running silent or virtually silent and, I guess, prop RPM?
How long it'll take to adjust to running silent? Like 2 minutes. We're gonna love it. I can't wait for it. Prop RPM. There will still be. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. There will still be prop noise, so you'll get the rumble at the back of the boat. But 90% of the noise will be gone.
We got to fix our prop right now because I hit a log.
She did.
And it's curved right over.
She bent it.
Yeah. It's a loud log.
Mm-hmm.
John from Cincinnati here. Are you going to sell the Cummins?
We are going to sell the Cummins, and we have had some interest in them locally. However, I'm trying to not sell them to boat people. The reason being is because they're a super custom engine. I have no issue with them because I built them. I know everything about them inside and out. I know how to fix them. I know how to diagnose them. That's going to be something entirely different for somebody else. And I wouldn't feel it responsible to put that on somebody else that's putting it into a boat unless they well knew the associated possibilities with that.
He doesn't want to be on speed dial to someone who puts them in the boat and they're calling constantly to tune the engines.
Yeah, or whatever.
No, but that's true.
They would be ideal for somebody who has a truck. Probably what I would do is pull all the marine gear off of them, sell them as a long block to somebody who has a truck, and they'd be a nice hopped up version of a truck motor. That would make a truck guy really happy. And then I could just sell off all the marine gear and the ECUs, or sell them to somebody who wants to swap a Cummins into another truck or car or whatever.
We have not listed them yet. They're coming out of the boat on Tuesday, hopefully. Craig wants to know, are you using the wall hanging batteries?
I'm not sure. They are a rack mount battery, so the wall hanging style. However, I'm not sure if we're going to be using them that way. The reason being is we don't have a lot of space to put a big wall of batteries. And if we can break them up and split them up a little bit, we can get them lower in the hull, which is better for ballasting. So there's benefits there for us. So I'm not sure how it's all going to work out. We're going to be working closely with Brent on this to figure out how it all is going to go. But I think it might end up being low in the boat and spread out a little bit more.
I think priority right now is empty the engine room, get the walls and everything sorted out, insulation, and then we're going to template out with what do you call that stuff?
Door skin.
With door skin, template out the size of the generators and everything so we can visualize. And again, you'll be along with us through this whole process. I know I burped. Sorry. Excuse me.
So ladylike.
You brought it up to them. I was trying to hide it. Love you guys, Guts and Glory. That would have been a good name too. Operation No Guts, No Glory.
Sure.
Is that what it is? Are you going to have air conditioning?
Eventually. We do actually have an air conditioning unit on board. The boat had like crazy air conditioning when we bought it that didn't work. It had main compressor units in the engine room, and it had like copper capillary tubing running to these air handlers everywhere. It was ridiculous. There was big ducts run all throughout the boat. So that was one of the first things to get ripped out because, like I said, none of it worked. And I can't even imagine what it would have cost to get it all working. The one that we have left is actually a fairly new marine air unit. It's a fairly compact, like a more modern air conditioning unit. So we might use that one. I'm not 100% sure if it even works, but it looks pretty new and in good shape. So we might try that one.
What is kind of cool with this boat is we do have these two windows that open in our galley, but the middle windows, they open with a jack screw, and the big window rolls right down. And we're working with Diamond Sea Glaze in a partnership to possible partnership to put in new windows. And it's going to see what new products they have, which is quite exciting. Tillman and Bonita are here.
Hello
guys. Are you going to make it so you can plug your boat in at the dock to charge your batteries?
Yes. Yeah, and we've been working on a few options for that. Obviously, we're going to be traveling the world with the boat. So whatever I want to do, I'm trying to make it to where we have worldwide compatibility. So ideally, what I would like to see is a redundancy in the inverter setup. So 2 inverters, one big one small one. The small one just a backup inverter in case the big one fails. And then I'd like to have the only thing connected to shore power being a row of chargers, because we can get chargers these days that will handle voltages from 100 to 400 and frequencies from whatever to whatever. So it eliminates the necessity of us in other parts of the world to adapt our main shore power setup to 50 hertz or 60 hertz or whatever voltages. All we're doing is charging the batteries with wide range battery chargers. That gives us a lot of flexibility in what we can take in for shore power.
I think this is James repeating the questions. We talked about how long do you believe it will take you to adjust to running silent or virtually silent, and I would guess prop RPM versus engine RPM.
That's going to be a little bit weird because we're not going to have a generator or a gearbox anymore. So what we see on the electric motors is what our shaft RPM is. It's what our prop RPM is. So we'll have to relearn our set points, which in this case would be 500 RPM is going to be where we match up to our current setup.
Burdette's doing a call up for likes. Thank you guys. Woo! Thanks, Burdette. It actually just really helps YouTube to do the likes. We know you're here and we're hoping you like the content, so we're just going with it. But how many BMS or shunts control panels will you need for the setup?
I am not entirely sure how they configure this battery bank. I'm not sure if each separate battery module has its own BMS in it, or if the BMS is built into the mains control. That's all stuff we're going to figure out once we get over there and talk to the guys there, because we'll be able to see this firsthand, and quite likely they will open it up for us so we can see how it's built internally as well. So I'll have those answers later, but I don't have them quite yet.
Bonita says she wants 10 lashings with a wet noodle. I think you can give that to her.
Oh, no.
So what's interesting is, as we're reading this, Fabrizio and RV Sparky have this whole conversation going back and forth, which is really cool. RV Sparky is looking for a new employment, and he likes EV cars, but he really likes the marine electrical. Yep. I think RV Sparky should come up here and help us.
Come on
down. Are you going to get the stabilizers working? From Brockville, Ontario here had temperatures down to minus 32 the other day, just Celsius. About 30 centimeters of snow.
Isn't that kind of around the same area that Celsius and Fahrenheit kind of start?
I don't know, but that's cold and yucky in Ontario.
Really cold and miserable.
Yes, so stabilizers.
Yeah, I'll stop whinging about my cold here then. Yes, stabilizers are on the list for this yard visit. It's going to take a little bit of doing because they are hydraulic stabilizers, so we're going to have to mate up the electrics with the hydraulics, because there will no longer be main engines running all the time to run the stabilizer system. So probably going to need, there's a couple of things I'm debating, because the stabilizers and the steering are going to be hydraulic. So I'm either debating running 2 separate systems, one steering and one stabilizer hydraulic system, or I'm thinking about running one main hydraulic pressure system with a pressure accumulator and feeding both the stabilizers and the steering off of that. The steering will have a backup. It doesn't require pressure, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning with that. And I could probably get away with like a 5 horsepower motor, electric motor, and we already have a pump that'll work for it. So that's kind of where I'm leaning with that setup right now. But I don't know. We'll see where we end up with it. But yes, they're on the list.
Mad Kiwi wants bigger zincs, electricity bleed.
It is something that obviously you have to worry about with electricity all the time. Stray currents are, the devil. But the main thing is we're just going to make sure that everything is properly grounded or ungrounded or isolated, and that things are not going to be cross-talking. We're going to reduce the chances of that happening by making sure everything is done 100% perfectly for that system.
Tim, do you know what the horsepower rating is for your electric motors that are going to turn the propeller?
They're 100 kilowatt electric motors. So that would be 130 horsepower per shaft. That's kind of what it works out to be.
There you go. Yeah. Someone always asks about the money, which we are totally honest and open with. How can we afford this major project? Well, I still have a pension as a police officer, and we have some investments. However, we have worked a deal with OSEA that they are giving us a loan for a period of time for us to pay back, and then we're coming in as shareholders with them. Okay, that's about kind of what the deal is working with OSEA. So we're paying for it, but then we're also going to come in as shareholders because we totally believe in the company. We believe in Brent and his team and what they're doing. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes.
Yes, but they are providing us a loan.
It gives us the potential of getting this on the boat and still benefiting us in the future as well.
Yes, and it helps them because they can show what hybrid electric can do on a boat like us and gets into the market. And hopefully more boats like us convert. And you can say, like, we do have one. We weren't going to mention it, but we do have one coming in.
We do. They've OSEA actually has another boat that's going to be coming in right next to us here. I think around March.
Yeah.
They start their project. So we're going to get one of the containers is going to get dropped off right in between the two boats, and both are going to be going.
And that boat is awesome. It's an old boat called Inside Passage.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you Google Inside Passage, she's a stunning classic boat. We love the owners, and we can't wait to introduce you guys to them and what's going to happen on that boat. And that will be on this channel too, promise. So you're going to get two for one. Aurora, sorry, I had to go for a few minutes. Did anyone ask what the size of each battery compared to the lithiums you have now?
So the battery bank itself is 300 kilowatts. We currently have, I think it works out to be like 23 kilowatts, somewhere in that area. So much bigger.
Which brings us to RV Sparky's question. Are you apprehensive at all about working with 400 plus volt system?
Not really, no. And the way that we're doing it as well, I mean, everything is from scratch. I mean, we're ripping the engine room down to nothing. I mean, there is going to be nothing in that engine room, and we are building everything from the ground up. So this is going to be like a fresh build on this entire system, and everything is being done with proper everything. All of the main cabling is done with IP67 rated motors and battery bank systems. So, I mean, these things can get wet, and they're not going to be exposed to the electrical side. All the cabling is proper shielded heavy gauge cable. There's no corners being cut. It's all being done 100%. And quite frankly, like, our engine room is not, people imagine, oh, it's a boat, it's wet, and it's not like that down there. It actually stays quite dry. We don't have a lot of crazy moisture in there. I mean, no more than what you'd have in the marine air. So no, I'm not really apprehensive. Obviously, that's a lot of voltage, and that can injure.
I have a lot of life insurance on him, though, so that's okay.
Yeah, for her, it's okay. But I do plan to invest in PPE for that, the proper, like, crazy gloves and all that stuff, in case.
Also, Brent Perry has built hundreds of commercial vessels with the system. This is just coming down to personal vessel, the smaller size. So these commercial boats are all over the world doing this already. It's not new tech. And they've got bigger power plants probably than we're going to put into this.
Yep, and the biggest thing is just having a well-rounded respect for the voltages, and
don't be stupid.
Extremely careful.
So this is from Fabrizio. So please explain, Blaine. See, rhymes. Explain, Blaine. What happens when batteries are depleted, but you're still underway? Do you generators then drive your boat?
Yep, it doesn't necessarily have to wait till they're depleted either. I mean, we can start the generators at any point, anywhere, because we'll never fully deplete the batteries. I mean, lithium doesn't really like that. So, I mean, I'd imagine the way that we'll push them, we'll probably maybe drop them down to 30-40% depth of discharge. So it'll never be at a point where, we'll be pushing the batteries hard. And at that point, we just fire up a generator and get a range extension.
Oh boy. Okay. So no, I'm just going to we're going to end with Chuck Summers there. So we're going to have our last comment is going to be by Chuck Summer about the names of the generators. So I'm sorry, but yeah. We're going to end this just after that. I know, it's already 6 o'clock.
flies when
It's
you're having fun.
amazing. Have you thought about getting a gyro to stabilize?
I would love a gyro, but the prices on those things are astronomical, and that is definitely not in the cards now, especially with this going on. We were all already we'll be budgeted for for this one.
Bonita likes bunnies. Yes, they are cute, Bonita, I agree. RW Net Wraith. Instead of moving the fuel manifold to the front of the engine right now, why not replace the manual valves with electronic controlled ones, and then you can shunt fuel around from the helm while underway?
That'd be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty awesome. I haven't put a ton of thought into that.
You know what he's going to do tonight now?
Now I'm gonna go look at electric valves.
Yes.
No, that would be super awesome. Then I could hide all that stuff underneath a bed in the back.
Wouldn't
or
that
something.
be cool?
That'd be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I like that idea.
Ooh, okay. Seriously, he's
I
going
like
to
the way you think.
He's going to be Googling that all night. I can see this happening. 5 hours rechargeable on the go. Yep.
Pretty much.
Do not look at laser with remaining eye.
Yeah.
Is this our laser dude?
It must be. That was funny.
Marlon, how many hours in open water to Japan?
I think last time I calculated it was 10 days.
10 days. And that is bypassing Siberia. We have been in touch with an agent in Siberia, but with the political climate right now, he's not even advising. And some people said that there is a danger of boats being seized. And I really don't want to go near Siberia with a Canadian flagged boat right now. So we will be bypassing Siberia, unfortunately. Maybe we will catch it on the way back up after Australia. And 10 days from the end of the Aleutians across to Japan.
Yep.
Will you have regular props or will you have drive pods?
Regular props. Drive pods maybe in the future sometime, but for this iteration, it's going to be direct shaft prop.
Remember, this is the never-ending sea trial.
Yeah. Hybrid version 1.
Hybrid version 1. DJ's with us. Hey, DJ.
Hey, DJ.
We love DJ. John Ritchie. A fiber and glass layer in between the hull and the foam would protect from heat from welding. You think I want a fiberglass?
Ooh, yeah.
Fiberglass on a boat?
Well,
I think it's a good idea. I'm wondering about moisture getting stuck between the fiberglass because there was fiberglass on this boat.
Yeah, I wouldn't bond it because we did have issues with that in the back.
Yeah.
And it would have to be like super clean to get it bonded, which is kind of what we're deciding against right now.
So what we're talking about is when we pulled up the teak deck on the upper aft deck, when we pulled up the teak, someone had already tried to fix the repair with fiberglass and it did not bond to the aluminum. Because aluminum is dirty, it's old, like it's 56-year-old aluminum. It did not bond, so water actually got stuck under the fiberglass because it didn't bond, and it just made things even worse.
Yeah, we got the same issue in the bow locker as well.
Someone tried to fix it with fiberglass.
Yeah.
So we had to clear all that out, and we are working on our locker because that's the one leak, and we have to rip out the fiberglass that someone used already, and
fiberglass will light up too with heat. It'll burn.
Fiberglass does burn. If you've ever seen a fiberglass boat go up. But I can see where you're thinking. You're right. It would protect it from the heat from welding. I still don't want to spray foam, man. No. Seeing how the aluminum is on the inside was in such good shape, I would consider leaving it bare.
That's kind of we have to put insulation in one way, shape, or form, but I think we're not gonna coat it. With any sort of primers, we're just going to leave it just like it was.
Yep, and that's like Patrick, not going with any sound dampening rock wool.
The
sound dampening will be around the generators.
It won't sound dampen from water, I guess, from the outside of the boat. The foam will do a bit of that. It can absorb a bit, but we're sticking with closed cell foam for all of that, just to prevent any sort of moisture being soaked in. One of the things that we found with what they had in there is there was a lot of spots where they just filled the entire cavity between the ribs and the stringers with insulation. And what happened is the water moisture would build up.
No, but let's explain the insulation. I'm going to interrupt.
Okay.
The insulation they used was this green foamy stuff.
Well, not in the engine room.
There is some.
No, not in the engine room. The
But
engine room's all fiberglass.
The stuff in the bedrooms.
Yep.
It looks exactly like the foam you use for flower arranging. And as soon as it got wet and moisture, it actually just crumbled.
Oh, it's just disintegrated.
It was disgusting.
Huge mess. Don't even know how much of it is left in a lot of the
Well,
walls.
what's the stuff in the engine room?
The stuff in the engine room is like it's a fiberglass, but it's rather than being like your standard like the rock wools and the pink stuff that you get in houses. It's like a compressed fiberglass. It's not asbestos. It is fiberglass, but it's kind of a rigid fiberglass panel, and it's
way
really
back
nasty as well. But it absorbed water too, and water would, the moisture would run down, and it would sit in the bottom edge of the fiberglass insulation, right on the aluminum, and you can see all of that aluminum now is corroded in those areas where the insulation was sitting on it because the water had nowhere to go.
Fabrizio, and if you have to have the generators running, engines, electric motors continuously, do you need to have it 5 times the system charging capacity so the generators don't overheat, specifically generator? You read that again.
I'll read that again. Have it 5 times system charging capacity.
May not be 5.
So the generators that we're running, they will be limited to output. So what will happen is, no matter if we have 1 generator running or 4 generators running, they will be running at peak capacity. So we are talking with the generator suppliers now. So we're telling them, if we ask for a 50 kilowatt generator, we want a continuous load speed generator that can provide us with 50 kilowatts continuously. And that's the parameters that we've given them. And then that's actually a bit of a tripping point for the generator suppliers, because they don't understand the hybrid side of things. They're just making generators, and they've made generators a certain way for years and years and years. And they've gotten kind of comfortable with what they've been doing. They don't understand the loading that the kind of work that we're doing with them puts on the generators, especially the electrical side. So yeah, that is a parameter that we're talking to the generator suppliers about. Is this is what we need. Whatever you guys have to do to get this to us, but we have to have 50 kilowatts, and it's got to be able to do that continuously. And what will happen is the generator will just fire up, and depending on how many generators are running, the chargers will vary their charge rates to load that generator at its peak rate.
I like it. John Ritchie, are the motors going to be direct drive, or is there going to be a gearbox?
Direct drive. That's one of the benefits of serial hybrid over parallel, is we're able to get rid of the drive losses in the transmission.
Colleen, have you talked to Edison Motors about the generators?
We have been thinking about reaching out to those guys just to see, not so much talking to them about the generators, like we understand what they're doing, but some sort of a collaboration with them.
Well, Brent has worked with them before.
Yes.
Brent Perry has talked to them and been in contact with them. So yes, we have been in contact through Brent that way. As for a collab, I'm not sure. Different political ideals, not different. Blaine and I totally stay away from politics in our channel.
Yes. Avoid like the plague.
And Edison doesn't, and I admire him for that, but we stay totally away from politics.
For good reasons.
We are just boats and boat refits.
Yeah.
Politics stresses us out right now. We each have our different views. Blaine's family's in the States, our family's up here. We just stay away from it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I got to say.
That's all I got to say about that. Chuck, instead of diesel generators, have you considered a Mr. Fusion?
That's, you know what Mr. Fusion is?
No.
It's the thing that they installed on the Back to the Future car in Back to the Future 2, I think it was, where they were chucking banana peels and cans and stuff into it, and it was making power. If only. That'd be nice.
Michael has a contact for, how do you say that? Varner?
Varner?
I know the name. I can recognize it. I know I can pronounce it properly in my head, but I can't say it out loud. Who does DC generation? Can you reach out to us with that contact? That'd be amazing, Michael.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a message on on fourth wall.
And remind us on size again.
Yeah, 50 kilowatts is what we're after, and that's a continuous 50 kilowatt, 400 to 800 volts, somewhere in that range.
We'd really appreciate that, Michael. It'd be awesome. They're talking back and forth.
Yeah.
Yippee, she got 10 lastings. Kyora from New Zealand. Hope all goes well with the rebuild.
Right.
It's going fun. We can't actually wait to get Tongroa down to New Zealand. We will be there. RV Sparky wants to come, but it's his busy season.
Oh, yeah.
In Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah, it's RV season.
That would be RV season. Blaine's parents are in Florida right now in their RV. Chuck, do you have names for the 4 diesel generators? So this is the question we were ending with. This is going to be another contest.
Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Scrooge.
See, that's what I mentioned also, but we have everything's kind of a girl on our boat.
Yeah.
Boating is just girls. I
mean,
know.
we could continue with the Porsche and Stella names and just add 2 more as well. But I don't know.
I think Porsche and Stella are being retired. So for those of you who don't know our channel, we tend to name things. The engines we have now are Porsche and Stella, and you guys can see what we've done there. We have 2 Honda Ruckus scooters on board, which is Roxy and Ruby. Roxy's just a really loud bitch, and Ruby's very red.
Yep. Accurate.
We had 2 generators, which was Astrid and Fiona.
Yeah.
So forward and aft. Because Fiona didn't last very long.
Well, Fiona never went.
Fiona
went in, and Astrid never went in.
So we will have a contest in a couple months when we get the generators on names, and we're going to need 4 names. I prefer girl names for them.
Yeah.
I think they're more fun. But we did mention Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and I was thinking like.
That being said, maybe that's why they've been so problematic.
Because they're females.
Yeah.
You might be onto something there.
Telling you.
I was thinking also the dwarfs, dopey, sleepy. I don't know.
That's what I did on Sean's boat with the MPPTs.
Yes. So let me just scan through real fast. You guys are great. We are going to call it.
Ah, it was close. 40 degrees is the same. -40 is the same Fahrenheit and Celsius.
RW Net Rate. Would you be interested in donations of labor rather than money? Yes. Come on up.
We're not picky.
Trust me. Come on up. As long as you don't mind being on YouTube. We're not picky. But no, it's been great. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate everything. We do have 1 membership we're giving out. And I don't see him on the live. And it's Yoda. What do you call him?
Yoda? OM Yoda?
OM Yoda. Now, OM Yoda has been putting comments on our YouTube videos for years. And we really, really, really appreciate him.
Yeah.
And even when we were doing the question and answers, he was putting in comments. So I'm going to get a hold of, what is it? Something?
OM Yoda.
OM Yoda. So I keep forgetting the OM. I just call him Yoda. I'm going to get a hold of him, and he's getting a 6-month membership so he can see what we do on the inside. For example, we had a conversation with Brent yesterday morning on the phone. Blaine, as soon as the phone call ended, did a quick debrief on what the phone call was, and that video went up to our members only. So if you're interested in seeing what the back end is on what's been happening, they're getting a lot more. They get an extra video per week, maybe 2, sometimes 3.
And there still will be plenty of tech on the main channel, so
Yes.
you don't have to worry about that.
And if you can't help monetarily wise, we love labor. And also just share, like, subscribe. It helps
Honestly,
us.
That's huge.
It helps us with YouTube. We do have some new members of the Wall of Power.
Yep.
So the Wall of Power is with a donation or with joining our First Mate tier, which is the top tier. I think $100 American or $99 American a month. You get all this inside scoop. You get a hoodie that says First Mate on it. You get a t-shirt that says First Mate on it. You get a couple surprises per year mailed to your door. A whole bunch of stuff. Plus, you get your name permanently mounted in the engine room on the Wall of Power. So that's going to be cool.
Permanently.
Oh no, Rob just made it. Rob, I'm so sorry. You just missed all the questions. You're going to have to watch the replay. Anyways, Rob, thank you for making it. I'm sorry you came right at the end. We appreciate each and every one of you. Is there any last... Oh, what's the plans for this week besides taking out the engines? Talk to us about...
Oh, gosh.
You talk about shafts.
I
I love when you talk about shafts. You're taking apart the shaft.
I do have to get the shafts out eventually. We have 2 sections that still need to be replaced on those because they're 2-piece shafts, so we have two on each side. So 2 of those need to be replaced. Oh man, put me on the spot.
Anyways, we got lots of stuff happening this week, and you guys will see it all live. Videos coming out Wednesday morning, Friday morning, and Sunday morning. So thanks everybody. Thank you especially to Craig, to Mad Kiwi, and RV Sparky for the donations to the fund, and we will let you know at our next live what this project is actually going to be called and who wins the Onboard Town Grower shirt. Thanks everybody.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Take care.